What's up, guys? Welcome to Dynamicom TV, where we publish news on politics, entertainment, celebrities, and metro stories. We have another trading news for you today, and the headline here is Minimum Wage, Labour, Governors Talk Tough, Fresh Crisis Over Negotiation. Alright, guys, please, before I go ahead to read today's news to you, if this is your first time you are watching on our channel, there is a red subscribe button below this video. Just go ahead, hit that red subscribe button and click on the bell icon beside it, so as to be the first to be notified whenever we publish news in the future on this channel without missing any news again. Right now, the news in detail. Prepare for strike, NLC tells state councils. The Nigerian Labour Congress and the Nigerian Governors Forum on Sunday strongly disagree over specific salary adjustments being sought by workers on the new national minimum wage. The NLC, in a letter to its state councils, said there was no going back on its demand for the consequential adjustment of salaries as a result of the new minimum wage. The Congress therefore directed its state councils to prepare for a nationwide strike starting from October 16, 2019. But the chairman of the NGF, Dr. Kayode Fayomi, said any strike by labor would be an exercise in futility, as the country could not meet the specific demands of the organized labor on consequential adjustment of salaries. After the first phase of negotiations collapsed due to percentage differences between the two parties, the federal government negotiating team and the Joint National Public Service Negotiating Council will meet again on Tuesday, tomorrow. The JNPSNC is representing labor unions in the negotiation for the implementation of the new minimum wage. Labor is demanding 29% salary increase for workers on salary grade level 07 to 14 and 24% adjustment for officers on salary grade level 15 to 17. However, the federal government had presented a proposal of 11% salary increase for officers on grade level 07 to 14 and 6.5% adjustment for workers on grade level 15 to 17. Labour, in a joint communique issued at the end of a meeting of the union leaders in Abuja recently, said it will not guarantee industrial peace if the federal government failed to hold a meeting with it and accept its demand on the consequential salary adjustment before the close of work October 16, 2019. The warning prompted the federal government to call a meeting of all shareholders on Wednesday with the Minister of Labour and Employment, Dr. Chris Ngige, presiding. At the meeting, all the parties agreed to meet again on October 15 in Abuja. Also present at the meeting, Wednesday meeting, were the Minister of Finance, Budget and Planning, Haja Zinab Ahmed, Minister of State of Finance, Budget and Planning, Clement Abba, Minister of State for Labour and Employment, Festus Keyamo Sam, the Head of Civil Service of the Federation, Dr. Fashode Yemi Asen, Director General, Budget Office of the Federation, Ben Akabueze, Acting Chairman, National Salary Income and Wages Commission, Ekbom Ete, and the Accountant General of the Federation, Ahmed Idrissa. And the NLC 1. Prepare for strike, NLC tells its council. Despite the new schedule, the NLC, in a letter dated October 11, 2019, and signed by its Secretary General, Emma, directed the state chairman and secretaries of the council to coordinate preparation for industrial action. The letter stated, "You will recall that a joint communique was issued by the leadership of the NLC, the Trade Union Congress, and the Joint Public Service Negotiating Council, stating that after 2 weeks from the date of the said communique, industrial harmony could not be granted in the country should an agreement not be reached with the federal government on the consequential adjustment of salaries as a result of the new minimum wage of 30 naira. You are hereby directed to coordinate preparations with the TUC and the JPSNC in your state for necessary industrial action should the time expire without an agreement as contained in the communique." When contacted for the reaction of government on the letter sent by the NLC to state councils, the special advisor media to the minister, Nwachukwu Obidiwe, said Ngige will continue to serve as mediator in the dispute. He added that he will still meet labor leaders on Monday, today, before the Tuesday meeting. Obidiwe stated the minister has, in exercise of powers confided on him as the chief conciliator, said the trade dispute and conciliation are going on. The leadership of the NLC and the TUC know the laws as well as the provisions of the International Labour Organization status on the current situation. I do not think they will wish to go against this collaboratory provision by taking to action while the consideration is going on. The minister will continue his efforts tomorrow Monday with separate meetings with Labour and government side and joint conclusive meetings for Tuesday. But in an interview with journalists in Lagos on Sunday, the Ekiti State Governor, who is also the NGF chairman, Fayemi, said any strike by workers should be an exercise in futility. Fayemi, who doubles as the chairman of the Nigerian Governors Forum, made the appeal while speaking with journalists in Lagos. He called on workers to take into consideration the country's economic situation before embarking on industrial action, calling on for strikes. He said, we don't want to blade down on workers, but we made it clear during the three-party negotiations that an increase in the national minimum wage is not a tantamount to a general wage review. The fact that we move people who were below 30,000 naira to 30,000 naira and wherever they should be on the scale should not automatically mean that we must increase the salaries of people on level 17 who are on 400,000. It is a minimum wage law. It is a minimum wage law. It is not a general wage law. Yes, if you promote level 05 or 06, they may go over what the current level 07 is ailing. So that call for a consequential adjustment, but that adjustment should not go over level 08 and 09. The federal government has even agreed to do 9% for level 07 to 12 and 5% for level 13 and above. But they said no and insisted on 45%. Where, where is Nigeria going to find the money? I mean, the economy is in that room. Whether we openly admit or not, everyone knows if you have an economy that embarks 2.4 million trillion for debt servicing, then what are we talking about? So I hope good sense will prevail and that people will be able to convince Labour that it is a futile effort if they do so, because Nigeria cannot pay what it doesn't have. Fayemi also spoke on the directives by the Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit on local government funds, saying the NGF stance on the issue is the position of the law. He said there is no law that has been passed in the country on local government autonomy. There have been several attempts, but it has never got the nod of 24 states House of Assembly out of the 36 in the country to make it happen. Nigeria is not treated federation. Talks about Nigeria being a treated federation is a torsion. If you want to create 200 local government areas, it is your business, because you and your people in your state should figure it out. It should not be the business of Abuja, because that for me is sororities and unitarism. What is the business of the NFIU on local government funds? When you read the NFIU law, the NFIU monitors what is going on in the banking system, internationally and locally. And if you have a specific case of money laundering, please bring it up. You cannot have a general rule to address a unique problem. You cannot, because you want to fight money laundering, you now say that states and local government cannot run joint accounts, which is in the Constitution of Nigeria, Section 162, and we have a case pending in court on the same issue. The chairman speaking. Now, Nigerians are provoked over the issue of the federal government and the Labour Congress having a dispute, mostly the NGF chairman, and there are a lot of comments coming in because of this disagreement between Labour Congress and the government on the minimum wage. Some people are commenting angrily. Most of Nigerians in diaspora and those that are living in Nigeria, the NLC workers. And we can hear from the comment of Mr. Odo. He said, we don't even need strike. We don't even need strike at all. All we need is a serious revolution. Just take a look at the running course of governances in this country. Everything seems to be well with all government officials' allowance and wages. With asset spending, more worrisome is that they don't even feed from their salaries. He's speaking about the government, the governors and the senators and the House of Representatives, those in the power of the government, saying that they don't even feed from their salary. They don't buy fuel from it. They don't furnish their houses from it. They don't fuel their cars from their salary. There is a separate fund that caters for all their expenses. Now the question is, what is their salary meant for? This person is asking the question, what is the salary of the governors, the state house, the assembly, the representative, what their salary are meant for? Because they have allocations for all their expenses. The content of our national budget is very provocative when you start seeing billions allocated to our government houses and its officials, securities. The government flow money to their securities. The government flow money to their house flourishing, their suits, and mention just a few. Emmanuel is commenting. If you ask me, if you ask these governors how much they are earlier, they cannot even say it because they know the government, the Nigerian people will shout at them. They have accounts in foreign lands, joint accounts, spending money to their children abroad, buying all types of luxurious cars under the government money, but they cannot even pay minimum wage. What a shame is this Nigerian government. Sam is saying you cannot feed to pay the minimum wage, but you can feed to buy at least 300 or 400 houses, riding on 18 or 15 cars, only going to airport. So guys, you see, Nigerians are angry over what is going on with the NLC and the federal government. And this one is saying here, Mr. Chairman of NGF is going mad because it is not Ekiti state money that will be used to pay Nigerian workers. Neither is it his personal purse. He should go and reduce his salary first before talking about Nigerian politicians are busy enriching themselves to the detriment of the civil servants and the populace. Watch out, Mr. Governor. You are going to die in bomb. You are going to die in bomb eating Nigerian money. All right, guys. We have a lot of comments, but we cannot go on reading them at the same time because if you continue, many angry statements is coming from Nigerians, both in diaspora and in Nigeria. You have an opinion. These are many opinions because what is going on within the government and the NLC is not what you write home about. Please go on and share your comments, and please, before you go, it is very important that you share your comments on these viewpoints. Meanwhile, do not forget to hit on the red subscribe button and then click on the bell icon beside it so as to be the first to be notified whenever we publish news on this channel, Dynamicom TV, where we bring you 24/7 news on the happenings in Africa, in Nigeria, mostly the number one of African country, in Europe, and we are saying thank you and welcome.